Hey guys, TJ Schwarz here. Welcome back to the shop. Got the X7 here making parts. Got everything all hooked up, power, air, all the good stuff. You can see a lot of that in my last video. These are what I'm making. These are MagnaCut scalpels. I'm going to give you a closer look and let you watch this thing run. So for now I've got the vise that came with my Tormach. It's Tormach brand, machinist vise. This is temporary. I'm going to explain to you why I have this in here. So as you can see, I've got the Saunders fixture plate. I have a Saunders fixture plate on my 1100 MX, and I was running the same part on that. I had built, let's see, right here, a bunch of soft jaws and fixtures to make this using their vices, which I love, worked really good. But I threw this plate on here, and I got it all set up, and I got ready to run these parts, and I discovered, let me jog this thing down real quick. That is the maximum down travel. So that's a pretty standard tool length. That's about 3 inches of total stick out from the spindle surface. You can see my pretty big gap I got going there. So I found out real quick that those fixtures wouldn't work because they are too short. So yeah, the tools wouldn't reach without doing crazy stick out or buying different tool holders. I could build a riser plate for this Saunders fixture plate to elevate it, but I ended up going with a Pearson. So I ordered a Pearson. I'll show you later in the video. It's supposed to be delivered by UPS here in the next couple hours. And while I'm waiting for that, I did have this vise, so I threw it in and machined the soft jaws. So the downside to that for now, until I get the Pearson set up, is I can only do one operation at a time with this size of vise. So op 1, so the blanks come to me. They are water jet, pretty precise, and then they are surface ground with a Blanchard machine to really tight tolerance thickness. And so the op 1 is kind of a standard machining op, but that's the backside. So I clamp it just barely by the bottom 25 thou of the actual part, and I machine the top, the notch, lanyard hole, chamfer, jimping, the choil and all that, and then machine down the perimeter. I don't know if you can see that, but I get far enough down to where the only part left is this little top hat kind of look, and that will disappear on the op 2 via the chamfer. So the chamfer will take that away. The issue I'm running into is because I'm only doing one op at a time, the cycle time on this is only about 5 minutes 30 seconds. And this is the longest operation because it's got the most machining. When I flip it over, I think it's only going to be like 2 minutes of actual spindle time. And so I have to flip parts a lot, but I wasn't willing to wait to build a new fixture and find a solution. I just wanted to throw the vise in and get these started. So the beauty is I'm pretty far along. There's, I don't know, I'm coming up on like 100 of these, I think, that I've done the op 1 on. I think there's about 5 or 6 tool changes, maybe 7 per. So far like 700-ish tool changes on this machine with 0 failures, 0 errors, no calibration, alignment issues, no issues at all. And so I'm really happy with it so far. It's machining well. I'm dialing in the feeds and speeds. With the rapids fully turned up, it's kind of horrifying compared to the Tormach. Just watching that thing zing along really, really fast. I'll show you that running so you can see what it looks like. But yeah, the parts are coming out really good. These knives, if you want one, I've got them on my website right now. You can pre-order. This batch is going to go to heat treat after I'm done machining. They'll get tumbled, sharpened, all that stuff. I got sheaths in the house. But yeah, that's what I'm working on, as well as overlands, getting them sharpened and out the door in those 5-minute cycle times that I'm allowed. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit cycle start on this next one. I want to show you what it looks like. So I've got a new part loaded in. Shut the door. The door automatically locks. F4 right here would be the door unlock if I wanted to unlock it. Yeah, so got the program loaded up. I'm in the monitor tab, so I can see general machine information, position, spindle loads, feed rates and whatnot, as well as some of the G code as it flows through there. White button here would be cycle start. just gonna go grab my drill, which is the first operation to clear the original path for the lanyard hole. That drill's getting a little dull, I can hear it. Those high-speed stainless steel drills actually do pretty well in stainless. That's clearing out the choil with the 3/16. I won't show you the whole thing, guys. I just wanted to see what you thought of some of the machining operations, how she rapids and whatnot. I wanted to show you something else I did. So this bracket right here where the air and coolant chuck are was on the other side of the machine where it obviously wasn't going to work for me. So I removed this white bracket and I 3D printed this holder for it to relocate it. Now that 3D printed fixture is actually VHB'd with a 3M adhesive onto here, so I don't have to drill holes. I've got the guns right here organized so I can just reach them right away. Keeps the hoses off the floor and from tripping on them. And then I'm in the process of printing these organizers for the runs of the line. So the line is going to run along the underside of the cabinet there, and I'm going to just keep printing them as I go down. So I got another one printing right now. But it's made a huge difference. It's pretty handy to have them where you can get them. That's one thing about the Syil. It doesn't really come with a good solution for where to put those. You kind of got to come up with a game plan. But that works pretty good for me. I think it'd be different for everybody. It just depends on where you want them and what's handy for you. Finished profile on the outside of this part, and then it'll do a chamfer, and we're done. And lastly, the piercing. This is the MPS system. The MPS system is the smaller version. It's the mini pallet system. They have a larger version for bigger machines, but I don't need pallets that big for my smaller machines. But this is basically what I ordered. I've got a bigger fixture pallet. I'm messing around with a configuration for the Overland fixture I'm going to build, and the smaller one that actually came with the MPS. So this base is going to mount onto my Saunders pallet. So these shoulder bolts are actually going to go into these knockouts and hold it in position on the pallet. I'll run an air line into the cabinet. This is a button release. These ball bearings are engaged in the bottom of the pallet, drawing it downward. These pins on the corners, they locate the pallet rotationally, and these surfaces are what it is held down onto. Now, when I'll engage this to basically trigger airflow to the pallet, the air pressure will actually release the tension on these balls, and I'll be able to lift the pallet off. So by simply hitting a button, I can switch pallets out. Now in the case of something like this Overland pallet, let's say it has a decent amount of runtime, I could have two identical pallets that are the same in every way. So I will put one pallet on, hit run, and then load the parts on the other pallet, and then hot swap. So as soon as the cycle finishes, I open the door, hit the button, switch, and I'm off to the races. So there's no, hanging inside with an Allen wrench trying to change all your parts. You can also do a much better job of inspecting the parts every cycle without sitting there with the door open and the machine idle. So it's a great system. I'll do a video of the install of this system and the Syil specifically. I look forward to it. When I make this fixture, I'll do a video of that as well. I'm getting the game plan figured out. It's all aluminum, but I want to have only steel on steel for the threads for all my shoulder bolts and whatnot. So I'm getting old McMaster car fired up and getting this thing set up. So yeah, that'll be another video, and I just wanted to show you it is here. This is going to make the difference with my spindle clearance not reaching the table. The height of that is going to solve my problem, and the vise I guess unless there's some one-off thing, is not going to get used much after that. So I'll keep machining these. I'm probably not going to build a Pearson for these because it is tedious, but it's decently fast, and I'm just going to run through all of them. And back to Overlands. I've got the Overland ground tanks here. I've got a big pile more coming. So as soon as those show up and as soon as I can get that Pearson on here, this thing is going to be building Overlands like crazy. So once again, guys, I appreciate all your support. Basically, once again, I couldn't do any of this without you guys. You guys have been so supportive, ordering these knives for me. It's a dream come true to do this, to be out in my shop just making knives for you guys, and I've been getting good feedback, which makes me really happy, and overall, guys, things are going really good. So I hope you enjoy the videos. I hope you can like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, keep in touch. Reach out if you have any questions. Thanks again.